Welcome to this special March Madness edition of the TUE Brew Review. After I wrap up this week's beer review, I will be giving you my picks to click for this year's tournament. But first, we have to get to the matters at hand, and that is, of course, beer. And in this case, we are going to be checking out Hoosier GameDay Lager. This is from Upland Brewing Company out of Bloomington, Indiana. And as you could tell, this has been pretty much branded with Indiana University colors and logos. So I am actually seeing more and more colleges working with local or regional brewers to produce a beer for that school. Actually, just up in Marquette, I saw that there was a local brew pub that's partnering with them. I guess whatever you got to do to pay for all those name, image, and likeness deals that all of these teams are having to finance now. So they're reaching out to the craft beer community to collaborate on beers, and I am here for that. So I looked a little bit on the website. So Upland, great brewery out of Bloomington, Indiana, where IU is located. They conducted a big social media survey, got over 10,000 responses, helping them out with how the package looked, name, the labeling, and what's inside of the can too, the beer's attributes. They say this is a Vienna style lager. So when I think of Vienna style lager, like a nice, clean, balanced, lightly amber colored lager, Sam Adams is a great example of a Vienna style lager. So let's go ahead and check this out. We've got this 12-ounce can. It's got all the school colors, including the vertical striping, and you've also got the Indiana script there. So very on brand. 4.7% ABV, so a very sessionable beer. I think this logo here, this is probably like a collegiate licensing logo of some sort. So that's what we got on the can. Let's take a look at what's inside the can. Okay, so we've got a nice really dark yellow, light gold color, very white, bubbly head, or off-white, frothy head. Getting some really profound grainy malt character in the beer. Cheers. Flavor, grainy, like the aromatics. Got quite a bit of sweetness to it, almost like a corn-like sweetness. I wonder if this has a little bit of corn adjunct in it. And some corn adjunct that would actually be appropriate for a beer made in Indiana. Yeah, it's a lot of sweetness. Almost getting like a honey like sweetness to it. Am getting a little tickle of the hops, kind of a mineral, grassy hop note. It's subtle, but it's in there. It's got a very it's effervescent, so it's got kind of a crisp, fairly light mouthfeel and kind of that prickly carbonated finish to it. Overall, this easy to drink beer, super crushable beer. Be great if you're going down to IU to tailgate or something. You could definitely knock back a few of these. I wouldn't call this a Vienna lager though. It's too light in the pants. It's definitely a step above an American lager. I'd call this more of like a international style lager. And so it's good, but just something like this, for the price point, I understand you're buying it because you're supporting Indiana University, or you think the can is cool. But in terms of what's inside of it, I think this went for about $13 for a 6-pack. And frankly, you could buy an international lager like Moosehead or Heineken or Sapporo Premium for that price or less. Or if you're really going to partake of the college experience, go out and buy like a 12-pack of Busch Light for like, I don't know, less than $10. So, fun beer to drink, but you're kind of paying more for the outside of the can than what's on the inside. But still very, very easy to drink, very crushable and enjoyable beer. and very apropos to be drinking during the basketball tournament, which is how I'll wrap this up. So my March Madness picks, I'm just going to give you 3 different takes here. First of all, I think the team that is victim for an upset, I'm gonna say the Duke Blue Devils. They've got the best player in college basketball, but I think they played a marshmallow soft conference this year. The ACC was kind of down, so they really haven't been challenged. So I think once they get in the tournament, they're going to make it past the first weekend, but I think they're going to get tripped up somewhere along the second weekend, and they're probably going to be seeded, I'm guessing, at worst 2, but probably number 1 seed. I don't see them making the Final Four. So that's my my team to get upset. In terms of a dark horse candidate, I like the Drake Bulldogs. They basically took a Division II coach and the entire team from last year that actually won Division II, and they brought them into their program this year. So I want to say it's like 4 or 5 players on the team. They all came from this Division II school, and they're like 3rd, 4, 5-year seniors all on the team. So a very experienced team that has played together for several years, and they've been in tournament situations. So I say Drake, again, I don't see them making the Final Four, but I do see them getting to the second weekend, and my guess is they're probably going to be like a double-digit seed. So I think they're going to overplay their seed. So that's my dark horse candidate. And then finally, my pick to win the whole thing, I'm going to go with the Michigan State Spartans. It has been a while since Michigan State, or frankly, any Big Ten team has won the whole tournament. In fact, I think it was Michigan State. I think it was in the year 2000. They don't have a superstar on their team, and that's kind of contrary to picking winners in basketball, because usually it's a superstar-driven sport. But they're so balanced. I think they run like 9 or 10 deep. So even if 1 guy or 2 guys have an off night, the rest of the team tends to pick them up. Very well coached, and they've played a tough schedule. So I think they are my pick to click, and a very tournament-ready team. So there you have my picks. And also, while you're watching the tournament, feel free to check out this beer. This is Hoosier GameDay Lager. Cheers.